Flooding rains are a problem across some of our area, and tropical moisture continues to ramp up. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
How you doing, friends? Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We're your home for Caribbean weather. It's a Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. Coming up in this video, we still have some rich, deep tropical moisture producing. Flooding rains will highlight the areas that have been hit hard the last couple days, where that is moving, and just overall, the tropical moisture that I'm forecasting the next couple days is going to be impressive. We'll get into that here as we push deeper into April. As always, Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. Anything that could impact you or your property, they're there to walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. They offer free consultation and policy reviews. You can go to leanonmelaw.com if you would like more information. As we get started, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section below what's been happening in your area, especially if you had some of this very heavy rain. Kind of two big batches I'm watching right now. The first is moving out of places like Jamaica, portions of Hispaniola, over southeast Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, a second localized area over portions of northern Honduras, coastal Belize, and Guatemala. It's because we have our stationary boundary and that trough that extends right back through those areas. So all of that heavy moisture is developing along that trough line and working its way to the north and to the east. We do have another front coming in, and I got to tell you something. We've talked about the wind a lot lately, but these winds in some of our area are going to be ripping starting tomorrow through the early part of the weekend. So let's get into these areas that have had the heavier rain. The numbers that you see are wind gusts in miles an hour. We'll actually start with the areas that have kind of been most inundated so far on this Wednesday, and that's going to be Turks and Caicos, southeast side of portions of the Bahamas as well, on over towards Anagua, Maguana, the Ackland area, Grand Turk, Salt Key, East Caicos, on over towards Grace Bay, have all been inundated with some pretty solid rain. You guys live, especially in the Turks. Let me know in the comments section below what's been happening. Moisture-laden air racing across this area. You can see that on the infrared satellite imagery. I've got the infrared and the visible satellite imagery. And again, there's even been a few lightning strikes here or there. Now, drier air is beginning to work in. So this will be the last gasp of heavy potential flooding rain, but we've had some problems for portions of the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Jamaica the last couple days. The heavy rain still continues here, especially on the DR side this Wednesday afternoon, where we've had some yellow and orange alerts for some kinds of flooding. Again, it's all somewhat localized, but we've had more than 2 to 3 inches or 50 to 75 millimeters of rain in just one day. And then you top that off overall, and now you're talking about some areas well over 100 or 150 millimeters in just the past few afternoons. Very heavy rain across the northeast coastline right now, the Samana Peninsula especially under one of those orange alerts. So from Puerto Plata to the Samana Peninsula, back down towards Punta Cana. We've had some heavier rain near Santiago de los Caballeros, some of the interior locations just north of the Santo Domingo area. Obviously, it's been fairly cloudy all day as well, trying to break out to a little bit of sun from Port-au-Prince to Lacaille, but even the western sides of the island here, the Haitian side, has had some decent rainfall. And again, especially yesterday, it's beginning to fade a little bit on this Wednesday. It's the same situation for my friends in Jamaica. It's been very wet. You guys will let me know in the comment section below that it's been that way. It is beginning to dry out. First of all, I hope you got the rain that you needed in Jamaica. We talked about how we were going to have really good rain chances island-wide, especially on Tuesday, yesterday, and we still have a few showers trying to develop right now. You can see on the eastern side of the island, there's not going to be as much, but we'll have more localized showers. So again, my friends in Jamaica, let me know in the comment section below, was the rain enough? Was it too much? There was some issues with some quick flash flooding in a couple of areas here. So again, but overall, we're going to be drying out from Jamaica west towards the Cayman Islands. Drier air beginning to kind of nudge its way into the area. I'll go back over to this water vapor imagery, and you can clearly see all the red that's beginning to move in. So the moisture-laden air with our trough is moving to the north and to the east, and it will be replaced in the short term with some drier air, but then the winds are really going to be ramping up. Let's get back over to the other area here that's had some pretty good rainfall for today. Again, it's a little bit more localized for the Bay Islands and coastal sides of the southern sides of Quintana Roo to Belize and Guatemala, but Dencriga, Belize City, Punta Gorda, San Pedro Sula, La Ceiba, Utila, Rotan, Guanaja, again, thicker clouds, some opportunity for some heavier rain. You can see some of that beginning to kind of smash towards the Belize, Guatemala coastline. And again, you guys live in these areas, let me know in the comments section below. Looking at temperatures here just kind of tells the story. It's a cooler day because of the thicker cloud coverage there. San Ignacio has not seen the rain as of yet, at least, and they're up to 91, but Roatan sits at a very much cooler 82 degrees. All right, we'll work our way towards the east here, guys. And again, just watching out for this moisture to kind of try and slip a little bit farther to the east. It's not going to surprise me if some of this thicker moisture kind of skirts the northwest sides of Puerto Rico. You can actually see on this visible infrared satellite imagery combination from Arecibo to Aguadilla, clouds are beginning to develop there, and notice temperatures are cooler as some showers are trying to get going in the northeast sides of Puerto Rico. Let me bring on the live radar here out of southeast Puerto Rico, and you'll see what I'm saying. A little concentration of rain there towards the Rincon area, Aguadilla, Arecibo. It's still really spotty, and that's the forecast for Puerto Rico and the remainder of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands as well. We'll have some quick passing showers. You know, it's not that bad right now in Road Town. They're in at 81, St. Thomas 84, St. Croix 86. We continue to see some pretty decent winds out of this as well throughout the wind gusts, and from time to time we'll have some 25, and as San Juan is showing you right now, some 30-mile-an-hour winds. But the concentration of moisture is going to stay just north and west of Puerto Rico. You can see all the lightning strikes there towards the Samana Peninsula. Very, very healthy rain there in that area. Again, it's not going to surprise me that we end up getting, 75 millimeters of rain, 3 inches of rain in that spot in just this afternoon. It's a very heavy rain as it works its way north and east. Into the Lesser Antilles as we go. Fast moving showers, brisk winds there. St. Bart's, nearly a 30-mile-an-hour breeze this afternoon. You can clearly see it's the easterlies here that will continue to be the trend. There it is from the St. Bart's station, east wind right around 80, 100 degrees on the old compass, gusting 25, 28 miles an hour from time to time. Seeing a few more showers right now, trying to develop St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua, especially over Guadeloupe and Dominica. You can see the visible satellite imagery, just those brighter whites, a little bit of a lift as those trade winds hit the eastern side of the island. Enough lift in the atmosphere here as it runs into the islands to produce a few fast-moving showers, but rainfall totals haven't been significant. Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a passing shower possible for Barbados down towards Grenada. We'll continue to see the opportunity for mainly overnight rain, especially in the southern sides of Trinidad, even south of Port of Spain. And we're going to get into the development of some of this monsoon activity in South America and how that's going to play a factor in our weather in some of our area beginning later this week. We're going to start to really see that begin to ramp up. ABC Islands have basically been dry. Winds have been fairly brisk, but no strong winds, at least as a gust here over the last couple of hours. And showers continue to develop over portions of Panama and Costa Rica. Nice little wind over San Jose right now, about a 35-mile-an-hour breeze. There's a lot of tropical moisture here beginning to develop south into the eastern Pacific, but this will start to lift its way to the north here as we get into, again, just the next couple of days. Beautiful afternoon for the central and the northern sides of the Bahamas. Let me bring back on our temperatures here. I mean, you can't beat it. Nassau 81, Freeport 82. It's not horrible. Fair weather clouds coming back in. Nice dry air in place. Get outside and enjoy it. Let's get into the forecast, friends. As we do so, I appreciate you guys. Really small payback, but something that really helps the channel out. Simply clicking the like button for me right now. Thank you very much for doing so. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want these forecasts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, click that subscribe button. We have a great community, over 50,000 strong. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for sharing this with your family and friends, and of course, those who support the channel. I really do appreciate you guys as well. All right, so let's get into kind of a couple of things. First of all, just so you know, you might see this tropical storm icon. Please ignore that. My system that I use is running a test right now before hurricane season, just to make sure that all the data is properly flowing. And so that's just a test one. You can clearly see it just says it's test 82. It means nothing, but I have on all of my graphics the tropical layer set to be on, so we don't miss a thing. So when I switch different graphics into the different models, that will probably reappear. Again, don't freak out. It's just a test. Simple as that, to make sure we're good to go for hurricane season. All right, so let's first of all talk about these winds. I mentioned how, and again, all of my graphics will have this. I can turn it off, but it'll just take me a second to do so. I mentioned how the winds are going to be a big story. And, you know, I've talked a lot about this in the last couple of weeks and videos here, but potentially we could actually have some of the strongest winds that I've seen in this, you know, last month or so. Because as an area of high pressure strengthens near Bermuda, and you can see the clockwise spin there, it's going to tap into that shear axis or that trough, and these winds are going to start really cranking up south of Bermuda, through the central southeast Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, across Cuba, Hispaniola, and into Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and eventually west towards Central America. And there will be from time to time winds starting tomorrow, especially as we get into Friday and Saturday, that will be above 30 miles an hour sustained. Okay, so get ready for some hauling, mainly east to northeast winds. At this point in time, you know, we don't have any marine warnings, or we don't have, like, say for Jamaica, the large wave and the strong wind advisory, but those could all come about again starting tomorrow. We might just be a little too far out in time, but if you are mariners for the exposed waters of the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, again, Cuba, the northern sides of the DR and Haiti, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and eventually towards Central America, the winds are going to be freshening and the wave heights are going to be getting fairly high. We'll take a look at that as well. Again, you're looking at the wind arrows here. This is all the wind direction, northeast to east across the Caribbean. The pink arrows are going to be winds of at least 25 miles an hour sustained, but I can also show you guys the wind gusts here as well. Again, every product I have is going to have that icon come on. I can take a second and turn it off. But when you look at this, all of the green are winds that are sustained well over 20. You get to the yellows and you're going to start to pick some of those up here that are going to be close to 30 miles an hour. But look at this little peak of wind coming into the southwestern side of the Gulf of Mexico. 40 plus mile an hour winds. Okay, now those are going to be moving away from our area, but the Yucatan Peninsula, especially towards Cancun and Cozumel, winds could get really, really fresh over the next couple of afternoons. So get prepared for that if maybe you're heading there. Not a lot of rain. I expect, I think it to be relatively dry there, but the winds are going to be freshening up across a lot of this area. And you can clearly see as well, again here, right from eastern side of Cuba towards Haiti, that passage there. Look at that. Bring in those winds and dive them back down towards the northern sides of Jamaica. So things will be really freshening up. And I haven't mentioned the Lesser Antilles much as far as the wind goes, but we're still going to have our relatively brisk trade winds continue. So the winds are going to be a big story. And then let's get into the rain. Once again, takes a quick second to loop that up and get rid of that. So we're going to discuss our two main areas of rain, but I also want to talk about what you see at the bottom of your screen. We'll get into that in just a second. The last gasp of the more widespread heavy flooding potential rain will begin to exit the area tonight. We will still have higher rain chances for the DR and Haiti and Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands in the coming days, but the moisture will just not be as concentrated. Can't rule out some urban and small stream flooding. We've had that from time to time over Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands the last couple of afternoons. It's very localized, but it has occurred. So just get prepared for that. And you can clearly see, I mean, that huge slug of moisture moves away, but we're still left over with pretty high rain chances, you know, in these areas. Turks and Caicos, it'll fade a bit. Even the southeast Bahamas, we're not going to get a lot of rain in the Bahamas itself. There's an opportunity as those winds crank up that it's going to tap into just enough moisture to throw a few light showers over Grand Bahama and Walker's Key and Bimini and Andros and Eleuthera and the Abacos, but it's a 10% chance. Many dry hours and locations. It's going to be great weather. Even Cuba is going to remain fairly dry. Jamaica will begin to dry out again as well. These winds just aren't going to have the same oomph as what we've had the last couple of days. And you know, as always, I've got your island by island rainfall forecast coming up. But Kingston, Portmore, Spanish Town, Negril, on over towards Montego Bay, Savlamar, Lucy areas, our rain chances will start to fall into the 20 to 30% range as the winds will actually be the bigger story. Drying out in the Cayman Islands as well. After one more day of some decent rain chances over Belize and Guatemala and the northern sides of Honduras, things will begin to quiet down there on the rain front. But again, the winds will be freshening up quite a bit. Where the moisture is going to start to really ramp up is going to be in our southern areas. So, you know, Costa Rica, Panama, and then just to kind of show you what's going to be happening in the northern sides of South America, this monsoon trough is beginning to get cranked up. It's that time of the year. Now, a lot of this activity stays just south of our islands, you know, through the month of April, but deeper into April and into May, this will begin to lift north. we've already started to see some of this rain slip into the southern sides of Trinidad. That's what I've mentioned. So some of the evening and the overnight, southern Trinidad has actually had some pretty good hefty rain, but it's mainly been isolated to the southern side of the island, where Tobago has stayed relatively dry. Same thing for the rest of the Windward Islands. So very localized, close to the mainland, but clearly, when I kind of zoom out here, places like Suriname and Guyana, on over towards Colombia, the northern sides of South America getting a lot wetter. This moisture is beginning to deepen in the eastern side of the Pacific, and eventually we'll start to see all of this lift up. So those areas, get prepared for better rain chances coming in the shorter term. Now, the Windward Islands over the next few days will still be relatively quiet. I don't expect more than about a 20 to a 30% chance for showers for Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, St. Lucia. We'll start to see a better chance again, as we have lately, for Martinique North, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Montserrat, Antigua, Barbuda. Again, totals aren't going to be significant, but rain chances will be decent. Do expect it to fall off a little bit in a couple of spots by Saturday, but Thursday, Friday, again, fast-moving showers. Got about the same forecast, but slightly higher totals are possible in Agata. I'll say it right, Virgin Gorda, Tortola, Yost Van Dyke, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, Vieques, Culebra, and then on over towards Puerto Rico. 50-60% chance for San Juan and Ponce, on over towards Punta Cana and the DR itself. Again, solid chances. We've had good, really concentrated rain the last couple of days. Now it's more spotty in nature, but still some heavier downpours. And you can clearly see the drier air beginning to nudge its way in as that front works its way south. And there's going to be a lot of rain in our northwest zones. So when we look at the island by island rain chance, it breaks down like this for you guys. Northwest Bahamas, just a 10% chance the next couple days, 20 on Saturday. You know, kind of back and forth, 10 to 20 for the central and southeast Bahamas, but even drying out for Turks and Caicos as well. 30 tomorrow, then drier Friday, Saturday. Cuba's rain chance is really isolated to the southeast side of the island, up towards Havana. Virtually no chance for rain. Cayman Islands, again, my friends in the Cayman Islands, let me know if you've had some decent rainfall the last few days. Looked like the opportunity was there for you guys. 20% chance over the next 3 days. Belize City, after a 30% chance tomorrow, we're back down to a 20 Friday, Saturday. Cancun and Cozumel looks to be pretty dry. Drying out in the Jamaica as well. 30 tomorrow, 20 on Friday and Saturday. Still decent rain chances across DR and Haiti, 40 to a 50% chance. Not bad in Puerto Rico. Again, rain totals may not be extraordinary here, but rain chances will be relatively high and kind of building into the afternoon hours. Same situation for the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Solid 60% chance Friday and Saturday. Pretty dry after a couple of showers tomorrow in Bermuda, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis. High rain chances tomorrow, still scattered Friday, Saturday. That's not the graphic that I wanted to show. Antigua and Barbuda, 60% chance for showers, 40 Friday, 30 on Saturday. Montserrat, Guadeloupe, again, high rain chances the next couple of days, a little bit lower Saturday, but still some passing showers. Dominica, a 60% chance. Martinique, a 60% chance for tomorrow. 50 Friday, 40 on Saturday. St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be around 30 to 40. Now, because I had that wrong graphic, I'm slightly concerned about the next graphic. Okay, we're good. I just slipped one in on accident. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I had this last island by island graphic and I didn't have to go searching for it while we're recording this. In Barbados, again, enjoy it. Spacetown, Bridgetown, 20% chance, fast moving showers, but not a lot of rain. 30 on Saturday. Grenada, 30% chance the next couple of days. Again, TNT, you know, it's really hard to say because, you know, southern sides of Trinidad, higher rain chance than the rest of the islands, but 20 to a 30 overall. And you can see the improving rain chances in Suriname and Guyana. And those chances will probably only go up as we get to deeper into April. Nueva Esparta, 20% chance for showers, then 30 Friday, Saturday, and a slightly higher chance in the ABC Islands as we get towards the weekend, but nothing, again, that's extremely concentrated. So when we look at the wave heights, again, you'll see some of these building waves over the next few days. Watch this wind push come right where I discussed. Blow through the Bahamas and then push south into the west. 8 to 10 foot waves, 2 to 3 meter waves are absolutely going to be possible with this. We'll still have some brisk winds across the windward sections of the Lesser Antilles as well. Northern areas of the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico will be hit pretty hard as well. And eventually, I think we're going to see some waves build off towards the west, but it might take a little bit of time. We'll just see how that plays out. Certainly, though, there's going to be some pretty strong surface winds. Now, as far as the rainfall totals go in the European model, you can clearly see that trough line, and north of there, does dry out fairly significantly. Look at the bottom of your screen. Again, now we're starting to see some totals here that go above 6 inches of rain in just a 7-day period. So we're kind of averaging an inch of rain. And for some of our area, that would include Costa Rica and Panama, that could get in on that act. And again, down towards Trinidad, a slightly better chance. But we're starting to see the monsoon trough begin to pick up with heavier moisture that will eventually try and lift to the north. You can still see where we've had pockets of that heavier rain in some of the areas that I've mentioned of Jamaica and Cuba, Turks and Caicos, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti, still showing some totals again, 3 to 4 inches in a few spots. All right, let's get over again to the rain totals. I'll have to switch my computer back here. Let me just turn that off real fast. All right, so doing a couple things behind the scenes for you guys here, making sure that graphic was fine. So again, the same situation, solid rainfall totals here in the GFS, coastal sections of Panama and on over towards Costa Rica, even the southern sides of Nicaragua along the Caribbean coastline. You know, we could get 4 to 5 inches of rain in a couple of locations. Let me bring on the numbers here. And again, you know, there's 4, maybe not 5, but we're close. For Jamaica, couple of spots that could be more than an inch in a few locations over the next few days. Same thing for the southeast sides of Cuba, but we're drying out a bit. Here's where the heavy rain is, and this does include what's falling today, but you can clearly see from the Samana Peninsula up towards Puerto Plata, east of Santiago de los Caballeros, you get that bullseye of, you know, a few inches of rain. Solid totals there. I think the GFS is a little too weak for my friends in the Turks and Caicos overall. But again, very healthy totals moving offshore. Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, same situation here. We're going to have a couple of spots that go 1 to 2 inches, but overall these are fast moving showers. So rainfall totals in these spots just aren't going to be as significant. GFS has a nice little bullseye over Dominica. We'll see how that plays out. But even Antigua and Barbuda, again, next few days we get more than a ½ inch of rain in a couple of areas. In a general sense would be the farther south that you go, you got that opportunity for lower amounts until you get to the southern sides of Trinidad. We'll see if this can slip into the southern sides of Trinidad. But again, even the GFS picks up on it. I know it's not a huge difference, but that's more than double for the southern side of the island compared to the northern side of the island. Not a lot for Nueva Esparta, and again, for the ABC Islands. It's another area, right, where can some of this moisture get far enough north, especially towards Curacao and Bonaire, where we get a few more showers in the forecast the next few days. But obviously, the moisture quality, the moisture content is going up in the southern areas. In the Bahamas, again, we're pretty dry. Get outside and enjoy it. Should be some great weather. Friends, as always, Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida. They are hometown homeowners insurance attorneys offering free consultation and policy reviews. You can go to leanonmelaw.com if you would like more information. You can follow us across all social media. My graphics are all over the place as far as being in the incorrect order. You can go to Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me a picture or video. It's mymeteomundo@gmail.com. All right, I'll click back on, bring back on camera, say friends. I appreciate you guys. If you have a specific question about the forecast, thank you for liking and subscribing. As always, I appreciate you. You have a great rest of your day. And I'm back soon with the latest forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas right here. Where's the show close? Where's the show close? At Meteo Mundo. See you soon.